If you clicked on this video, you're probably thinking to yourself, how do I get to a point? Like, is it even possible for me or for you to get to a point where you don't have to worry about money, especially if you're coming from Africa or from another country and you're coming to the United States? So in this video, I'll be sharing to you how I did it, and I, since I did it, I think you can do it too. I believe you can do it too, and the reason why was because when I was doing it, I did it without getting help from YouTube because I was looking for it and nobody was posting it. So, anyways, now the video is of course how I went from a broke immigrant to financially stable in the United States, and the subtitle is from selling chips to making chips. Now I'll explain a little bit. So there's a definition of broke and a definition of financially stable. Now, I actually, like in terms of like financially stable, I mean to a point where like you're not worried about surviving anymore. You're worried about thriving, because we're brought in this world to thrive, not to survive. The goal is for today to be better than yesterday, and that's how it's supposed to be, rather than to just today worrying about if I can even make it tomorrow. And that was where I was at for a while. And in this video, I'm just going to teach someone else who is there to get out of there. And if you were there and you don't want to go back there, there's some mistakes that you're probably making so that you can make sure you don't make those to get back there. Now, I said selling chips because for people who would understand, people who are from Africa, that maybe they were colonized by the British, like my country, chips is fries. You know, in America, it's fries, but in Africa, we call them chips. And basically, back in Tanzania, when I was there, I used to work at the family business where we would sell. One of the things we would sell was chips, which is fries. And I remember to this day how I got into selling chips was because at first, when I started working in the family business, I wanted to do the fancy stuff, the laptop, you know, sitting in the computer. And then one day there was a snake in the office. I never went back to that office. I said, you know what? I'm gonna learn to do something else. And was something else I would have learned was making food. And fries was something we were making, and we were selling fries as one of the things I was doing. And that was when I was 16, and then I came to America when I was 19. So, let's talk about broke. Now, some of you that might be watching this, you know, you probably had a better situation than I did, and good for you. Some of you might have a worse situation, which means this video might be for you then, because I'm looking to help people who want to improve their lives. If you're already okay with where you are right now, I mean, you probably didn't even click in the video already anyways. So anyways, let's get started. I have a board here because I kind of like to teach, because I used to also teach math when I was in class when I was like 14, I think. So anyways, I'm going to talk to you about the things that I learned while I was, you know, getting to where I am now. And even where I am now, that's not a destination. The journey is a destination. One mistake that most people make with a lot of things that they do in life is that thinking that, oh, I'm gonna get there, and when I get there, it's gonna be like this. There is never a there. Like, you never like get there per se. It's always that the destination is always a destination. So the journey is always a destination. So the things you do, the daily decisions you make, those are what defines the destination. So like the decision of either if you want to be waking up early. I'm not saying waking up early is something you should do. I'm just saying if it's something you want to do and you daily deciding to wake up early, you decide to wake up early, that journey of doing that, that's what you want to look for. Because that destination, like you'll be the same person. You would just be like, man, I'm the same guy that was doing this, and now I'm here. The only difference is I'm just doing different things. So even with this video, I'm not saying I'm making $100,000, $230,000, $300,000, but I am making more than what I used to make, and this is basically because of some things I learned. And the goal is for me to pass this on to someone else who wants to shorten that process because I wish I had done it a little faster than how I did it, and that's why I'm helping someone else do it faster than me. So anyways, one of the first things I did, I learned. So basically, before I left Tanzania, I was going to school, and I remember like the good thing that I'm really glad about my parents, the way they raised us, was that they were very transparent about money. This is biggest mistake people make, and I'm gonna write this down so that way people can remember. But there's nothing wrong with talking about money. Alright, so there's nothing wrong with talking about money. Now, matter of fact, one of the things that most of the times we believe is that, someone has a lot of money or someone suddenly is affluent, you think like, wow, this person must have gave up his mom's life or must have sold their soul to get where they are. Sure, there's some people that are that way, but that's not always the case. So when you start thinking this way, you connect money with evil. So now you find yourself not being able to make money because you are having this resistance within you, thinking that if I make a lot of money, people will think I'm evil. But that's not true. So if you're one of those people that are thinking this way, then either you look to change, or maybe just let's see how that works for you. Because I promise you it doesn't work. So anyways, one of the things I'm glad about my dad is that my parents, how they raised me, is that we were always transparent about money. I always knew how money was going. I always knew if we were good, if we were in debt. I knew everything. And that helped. Because at the end of the day, when you grow up in the future, that's how life is going to be. So if you might as well get ready before. So anyways, I remember when I was going to school, and I'll go to school, and when I'm back home, I'll work. Now, one of the things that I think I talked about this in the videos before, where like I used to think like, I just need to work hard and work hard and work hard. Now, working hard is really good. It's really good for you. The only thing about working hard, if you're working hard at something that doesn't work, you just end up tired. And you end up, if you're still broke, you'll be broke and tired. The one thing that you need to learn is to work hard at things that are higher levels. And I talked about the 4 levels of value in a whole other video. But anyways, so now we're going to talk about what I did. So I remember doing school, and then I worked at home. And one of the biggest epiphanies I had one time was when one of my teachers at school approached me and told me, hey, I have someone that is looking to be tutored for math. And they're going to pay you to talk to them about payments, but here's the address and here's their phone number, go from there. And this is where integrity is very important. I'm going to write this down. Integrity. What does integrity mean? Integrity is you doing what you said you would do, when you would do it, and how you would have done it every time. And this is where if you're not a person of integrity, then you would see how that would affect. You have to treat everything the same way you would every time, because that's how you build your personal brand. And because at the end of the day, you will start attracting opportunities because of what people know about you. So I remember, and this is something I learned. I'm glad I learned this because I see how it's helping me to this day. So, and one of the biggest things I learned now, I wanted to talk to the family. There was white people in Tanzania, and the daughter was looking to be tutored in math. And I remember they offered me $10 an hour. I was like, $10 an hour just to teach her math for 1 hour a week. I was like, man, I could do that in my sleep. I wish they gave me a lot of hours, but they didn't. But that's the thing, I missed the whole point, and I know you know why when I explain to you when I now came to America, how that happened. So I learned that, and I did it for a while. I did it for a couple of months until I came here. And when I came here, my first job I remember was working at a car wash, where I was making $6 an hour. Now, for some reason, I didn't think to myself, like, in terms of like curiosity, how, like, this is way less than that, but I didn't think to myself, like, if I could focus on trying to get this more, then I could have made more. But for some reason, I just thought, okay, and this is where the other transformation that happened to me came about. Because at this time, I was thinking, okay, if I get $6 an hour, it's less than $10 an hour, but I'm young and I have energy. I can just work a lot of hours. So I said, okay, well, time is money, so I'll just work more hours. But that's the one lie that we also got told. The truth is, time is not equal money. And I will say this over and over again until people get it, because this is something that took a while for me to understand too, and I know it's probably going to take a while for you as well. But time is not equal money, because time is actually more valuable than money. What does that mean? It means like, if I was to tell you, hey, I'm giving you a $2,000 check right now, but if you take it, you're going to have to die in a couple months. Suddenly you don't want it. Why? Because you know that your life is not worth $2,000. You know you rather just live more and make less, because you know time is more valuable than money. So if we know that, we're going to stop focusing on ways to making a little bit of money in a long period of time, you know, and start looking at ways to make a lot more money in a shorter period of time. Now, I need to go back to the topic. So the topic is from how I went from broke to financially stable. So now, the things that I learned, there was literally only 3 things that I learned, 3 mistakes that I learned that most people make. 3 mistakes. The first one is thinking time is money. So if you already think time is money, good luck. I mean, if you think that's doing good and it's working for you, then go ahead. But if you're watching this video, you know that something's not right. Because the reason why most people are getting stuck in somewhere, and I remember for most reasons, the reason why I was stuck was because I wasn't aware. Once you're aware, now it's up to you to make a change. So now that you're aware about this, it's up to you now. The ball's in your court. Now the second thing, now I think I talked about it before. So I don't believe in saving. Like, you cannot save your way to being rich. You cannot save your way to being rich. Like, at the end of the day, the reason why someone else is richer than someone else is not because they have more money in their savings. It's because they make more money in a short period of time. Like, if I make $1,000, but it takes me a month to make it, and you make $1,000, but it takes you a week to make it, you're richer than me. That's it. So the goal is to just make money faster. And there's nothing wrong to make money faster. Matter of fact, it's the third thing I'll talk about. Matter of fact, the reason you would make money is because the money you want is in someone else's pocket. So for you to make that money is really you exchanging something you have that's valuable to that person, not valuable to you, valuable to that person, and then they value that more than the money. What does that mean? If I took, and I have some African money here. So if I took 10,000 shillings, this is Tanzanian shillings. If I took 10,000 shillings and I gave it to you, and I told you, I'll give you 10,000 if you give me 10,000. You'll be like, okay, I can do it, but we can do that all day, because you know what? The 10,000 is the same value. You're gonna give me the same amount of money. We can do that all day, nothing will happen. But if I told you, hey, take this, I'll give you 10,000 if you give me 20,000. You'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. Why? Because you know that you're getting less than what I gave you. But then what if I do this? What if I tell you, I give you 10,000 and you give me 1,000? And this is 1,000 right here. I give you 10,000 and you give me 1,000 back. You want to do that like nothing. Why? Because you know that 1,000 is more valuable than 10,000. So when you want to make more money, you just got to figure out what's something that's valuable to someone else that you can give them, and they would give you money that they think the money is less valuable than what you gave them. So making money is really an exchange of value. So if someone is making a lot of money, they're not stealing. It's because to someone else, they might think like, oh man, like I don't know how you charge them that much. the thing is that that person that paid that money, they're happy. Both of them are happy. They're thinking, I'm getting what I wanted, and they're getting what they wanted. Matter of fact, one of the biggest things that the best things about money is that money is the purest motive that we have right now. One of the most purest motives we have. What does that mean? That means, and this is not an original concept. All these things I'm talking about, there's many resources where you can learn this. I read books. I saw. It's not something new. I'm not claiming this is what I know. This is my only stuff. All I did is just figure them out, and I'm just giving them to you because I wish someone gave them to me. That's all. So basically, money is one of the purest motives out there. What's the reason for that? If someone is doing something and you know you're gonna pay them, like, you don't need to wonder what else they want. If you go to a restaurant and they come and serve you water and they sit you down and they say, I'll be your server for today, and they're all nice and they're smiling, you don't have to guess why they're nice to you. You know why they're nice to you. They're nice to you because they know at the end of this meal, you're gonna give them some money. Same way, when you go somewhere and you're serving someone with whatever product you have, they know at the end of the day, the reason why you're doing all the things you're doing is because of money. And that's it. That's the best thing about money. You don't have to guess. So, since you don't have to guess, once you just find that out, then you can make your life better by learning how to give people something of value. Okay, so now, where did I go? So that, I'm talking about how I went from being broke to now making a decent amount. I'm not like there, but I'm doing better, and I know I'll get better. And my goal now is to just serve people as much as I can. And I know for sure, like, at the end of the day, what I did might not be exactly what you're doing, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, everyone has a different journey. So if you're on your journey and you're looking to make your life better, all you just have to do is just break yourself free from the mindsets that you've already had that are holding you down. And it could be one of these things. I mean, saving your way through being rich is not. So I talked about exchange of value. I talked about time is money. Now the last thing I'm going to talk about is, what do I mean by saying saving? You can never save your way to being rich. The reason why is because, let's just say you're making, I knew a guy at my job who would tell me that, oh, every month when he pays his check, his rent is so low and everything, and he's saving $1,000 a month. And he has $25,000 in savings, and he's gonna go buy, I don't know, a car for $18,000 cash and just keep on just living like that. But guess what? Guess what happened with that? If that person wants to be rich, what does rich mean? Rich meaning like they don't have to work for money. If they stop working, eventually that money will run out. Now, if you're rich, you're to a point where, how I define rich is where you're at a point where you can afford to not work and you can still survive, not even survive, thrive for days and days because your money is just making money for you. So anyways, with saving your way to being rich, that's not possible. How would you do it instead? How would I suggest you do it instead is investing your money. Now, since I'm hoping I'm talking to people who are young, and if I'm talking to someone who is a little bit older, I'm 26. If you're talking to someone who is a little older, that's fine. But the goal is, because it's never too late to start investing. And investing, you gotta start with investing in yourself. That's the most important thing. And by investing in yourself is meaning bettering yourself today, making sure tomorrow is better than today. And you do that by investing in skills. Now, unfortunately, it depends on the job, but there's very few jobs that school helps with investing in yourself. Because we're in a world now where we don't need permission from anyone to be able to be good at something or to learn something. You can literally take a shortcut and learn from someone who's already doing it, and get to a point where you can learn what they're doing it, rather than going to learn a bunch of theory and wait for somebody to hire you so you can now practice. Instead of that, you'd rather just learn from someone who's already doing it while practicing already. And then you can just become better, faster and easier, and less money because you're not spending all this money staying in a class for 4 years. So save your money. So basically, how would you do it? Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, and when you invest into yourself, one of the first things you're doing is changing your mindset. This is the biggest key right here. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing something that you're doing right now, it's because of what you believe in your mind. The reason you're not doing something that you're not doing is because of what you believe. One of the things I learned too is like an example. And this could apply to any area. If it's health, if it's wealth, if it's relationships. If you don't have a lot of friends, it's probably because of how you believe. If you believe everyone that you meet is gonna backstab you and everything, no wonder why you can't find any friends. If you believe that you can make friends and you're easy to talk to and you want to learn about people, it's gonna be even easier for you to learn how to make friends. So same thing. If you're struggling in anywhere, you gotta look at where the mindset is. And if the mindset isn't working for you, and don't look at it from the point of if you're doing this right or wrong. Just look at it from the results. Because results are the result of an input. So if you look at the results and you're like, okay, my result in terms of money is not good. So that means I gotta change the input. What's the input? That's the mindset now. So then you gotta look into changing your mindset. Now if you're looking at health, you're looking, okay, I need to get better and lose weight and stuff. And that's something I'm doing now too. It's like I looked at the results, I'm like, okay, well something's not working, but it's more about what I believe more than what I know. Because people know everything. Nowadays you have access to everything on the internet. You can go Google all the techniques you can do. But if you don't believe what you need to believe, you're not gonna do the things you need to do. So start with the mindset, and then from there, you'll be able to get to the things you're gonna do, and then you get the results. It's very easy. Now, I'm gonna take back to that. It's not easy, it's simple. Now easy, no. It's simple, but it's not easy. Because at the end of the day, if you're looking to get anything good, it's not gonna be easy. But it is simple, it's not complicated. For some reason, we think everything's supposed to be complicated and we gotta use all these complicated words, but that's not gonna help. But anyways, I've been ranting. So what I'll do is I'll stop here and I'll see you on the next video.